Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we are looking at the Ultra Act Father of Ultra figure. I don't know anything about Ultraman. This is a figure I was loaned so that I could review, and so you guys get to see it, and it's a pretty cool figure. I was more surprised with it than I thought I would be. It looks very basic, but it's actually got some nice features to it and some pretty cool accessories. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands to the top of his horns just about 7.5 inches, which makes him just about 19 centimeters. So he has some decent size to him, and he has some really nice shelf appeal once you get the cape on him. Now the cape will pose some problems for posing, but it does look really nice, and it surprisingly doesn't weigh him down that much. It's made out of a nice light material, so that's pretty good. But let's go ahead and look at all of the accessories before we get into the figure. The first one I do want to look at is the cape. It has some articulation. It's kind of complex, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. This piece right here swivels, and then this obviously rotates at the end of that. So each of the side pieces can move around a fair bit, not the most. And then this piece right here has a hinge on it also. It does have some of the same problems as the Injustice figures in that it's hard to make it look good in anything but kind of a neutral pose, but it still does look good, and it's well made. Other than maybe the engineering. The paint job is superb, the silver in there is super clean, and the red is super clean, and they're shading throughout. The shoulder pads do have a little bit of a hinge in there also, so they'll get out of the way if you need to pose the figure. Not going to be doing too much dynamic posing with the cape though, because like I said, it does hinder the figure quite a bit. Other accessories include an alternate head, so you have the one with the yellow eyes and the one with the kind of grayish green eyes. We have a few different hands. We have the two fist hands that come on him in the package, the two style pose hands with the fingers all out in different directions. Then we have the two kind of signature karate chop style hands. We do have one gripping hand for his accessory, and we have one hand with the energy effect connected to it. So that's pretty cool. I really like the energy effect. It's very well executed. Lastly, we have an interchangeable chest piece. So you have the blue one that comes on him in the package, and then you have the red one that you can also use. The core figure itself is actually fairly basic. There's not a whole lot going on, but what is going on is executed fairly well. The paint job on this guy, again, basic, but we have the silver and red, and the silver is obviously kind of a flat or a matte metallic, and then the red itself is very flat, so it's very aesthetically pleasing. We don't often see flat paint jobs on things, and this guy has it, so it's pretty cool. And then the blue or the red gem that goes in the chest is really nicely done, so that's a nice feature also. In terms of articulation, we have a ball hinge for the head, so basically the same thing as your SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball Z figures. Ball peg for the neck. You can move the head around just fine. Not really any problems. For the shoulders, we have a ball peg that just lets the entire arm move around, and then you have this cup in here that just hides the joint, so it's aesthetically pleasing no matter how you do it. You don't get the best range going across the chest, but it does go across a little bit, so that's okay. You can bring the arm up, no problem at all, and of course, full rotation. So pretty good range, pretty good shoulder all around. No bicep swivel really though, other than you can just rotate it around a little bit right there, so that's pretty limiting. For the elbows, we have a double joint that gives you really good range. He's got basically your standard SH Figure Arts articulation. For the wrist, we have our ball hinge, which has pretty good range. The torso, it feels like just a single ball peg for the upper torso and a single ball peg for the lower torso, but in conjunction, he has really good range. No problems really at all. The belt is a floating piece, so it'll just kind of move around as you need it to. The hips have the hinged ball pegs, so you can drop them down, though bringing the leg up still does throw it off to a bit of an angle, so that's not really ideal. But you can move the leg around on that ball socket, and then there is a bit of a thigh swivel in there, but it doesn't work all that well. You don't get that much range out of it. The knees, pretty good. They look pretty nice other than a tiny bit of a gap at the top, but otherwise they look really good and have better than 90 degrees, so can't complain about that. That's pretty nice. Then for the ankle hinge, it's just your standard ball hinge. You have pretty good range forward and back, and then you can rotate it around. I'll do it on this foot so we can see it a little bit better. You can rotate it around to give yourself a really nice ankle rocker, so that's a good thing. And then lastly, we have a toe hinge. So it's not the best toe hinge, but it's there. It'll work. So ultimately, the figure itself is pretty basic, but once you get him posed with his accessories and even his cape, he's a really, really nice looking figure, and it's going to make a nice shelf piece. So if you're a fan of this character or the franchise, you probably want to pick it up. I recommend it. It's not my cup of tea because I'm not into the whole Ultraman thing, but it's definitely a nice figure, so I would recommend it. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about movies, TV shows, video games, action figures, all kinds of fun stuff, so come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.